Hey everyone, this is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA. Today we're going to be talking about going to ASD and selling your products there. So if you have a great product that's perfect for the ASD show, this little training will give you some things to think about in regards to going to the ASD Market Week show. With that said, let's get started on today's training. So let's talk about trade shows in general and making money and getting buyers to pay attention to you at chain stores. Some of you are going to go to one individual trade show. Some of you want to create a whole business around it. Some of you will like one and want to go to more. So I decided to create a training on trade shows and chain stores so that you get the essence of what you're in for and what people are doing wrong, and then how to fix that so that you can make as much money as possible, because that's ultimately what we do at Retail MBA. We help people generate revenue with their consumer products brands. Trade shows. There are trade shows out there that are massive. There are trade shows that are smaller. And some people ask me, should I spend time at trade shows? So let's start with that. I teach a methodology that avoids all trade shows, not because I dislike trade shows. It's just that some of you don't have money to go to trade shows. So if you don't have the money, you need to come up with other ways to do it. Because if you go to a show, you're paying for the flights, people coming in, the visual art presentation. You got to spend 3 days or whatever at a show. You got to talk to people nonstop. It's intense. And some people's personalities are, I'd rather die than do that. And some people would say, I want to make a bunch of money and I believe in trade shows. Honestly, it depends on the human being as well, what you believe in. So I'm not going to discount what you want. I'm just going to give you suggestions all the way across the board, wherever you are, whoever you are. So we teach a methodology how to just go directly to chains for buyers without having to sit in a booth and wait for them. So if you want to learn how to do that, we have a training system that's actually a coaching and consultancy do-it-yourself program called Retail MBA. It's a year of coaching, it's training, it's all the things you get into stores. Hopefully it's a wonderful program. We've been selling some version of it for the last decade. It's helped a lot of people make a lot of money. So if you want to avoid the whole trade show scene, there's a solution there. If you want to stick to trade shows, I've had clients who make a fortune at them. And so let's talk about that. So when you go to a trade show, whether or not they're a bigger show or a smaller show depends on what you're looking for. If you go to the smaller shows, chain store buyers tend to not go. They don't have time. So the bigger shows, bigger chain store buyers are going. Sounds obvious, unless it's in their local area and maybe they're willing to stop by. Generally, it's not going to happen where a big buyer goes there. The smaller shows are going to be more related to you selling products to the local mom and pop shops, distributors, stuff like that, who are willing to work the circuit to generate revenue. So just be aware there's a difference there. If you're selling at the bigger trade shows, what's going to happen is you're going to need to spend some money on it to make it look great. You're competing with the big dogs. You're competing with the bigger companies. Now, there are organizations like the United Inventors Association where they actually have an inventors area usually. So if you have an invention, it does cost a little bit less, and you can be in the inventors corner. And those are really cool because a lot of buyers like the inventors corner. So that's an option. Like the International Houseware Show has the UIA. They have a section there for inventors. A lot of the shows now are setting up new product divisions. Even the Consumer Electronics Show has a new product division. So if you want to sit up there, they tend to be a little cheaper if you're a new product versus an established brand. They help you out. They put you in an area, and honestly, that's a great area to be in, the new product, new invention areas. So the UIA has it for the National Hardware Show, Super Zoo, a lot of the different ones. Just take a look at the websites and see whether or not they work for your particular trade show. If you're going to work for the bigger shows, the booths need to look like a little retail shop, basically, if you want to make any real money. I've seen people go to shows and just look ghetto, and it's not really going to be a big money maker. Now, you don't have to spend a lot, but just enough to make it look like a little show, a little retail booth. And so that's something to consider, meaning they walk up, it's beautifully displayed. You get my point. The other thing is you're going to need samples to give away, and a good amount. So you have to have that ready. You also need maybe more than one person working that booth. A lot of people are there. And also, you need to reach out to retailers before the actual event to let them know about your booth. And if I could tell you the one thing I've seen at these shows is that people don't do that most of the time. They just wait for people to walk by their booth. So if that's you, that's okay. But if you want to make real money, you reach out to the buyers in advance and let them know to meet you at the show, at the booth, or at least let them know about it so that they have you on their radar to stop by if there's any interest. Now, how do you talk to buyers? How do you get them to buy? We actually have that training I mentioned called Retail MBA. They'll walk you through how to speak to buyers, how to reach out to buyers appropriately, how to prepare them, the marketing collateral, talk to buyers. If you're willing to do that work, we can educate you on how to do that. In a weekend, you can learn how to do all this stuff through our Retail MBA training system and so forth. However, ultimately, the concept here, make real money, reach out to buyers in advance, let them know to come by your booth. If not, you're just hoping for a hit or miss. Sometimes people are crushing it at trade shows. Sometimes they're doing terribly at it. And so the more you can help yourself by getting the buyers to come there, that would be great for you. Also, the last thing I'll mention that really is something to consider is everybody at the show will say, I'm interested in your product a lot of times. It's the excitement of the energy of the place. And a lot of the people, distributors, everybody will say, I'm interested. When you leave, 80% of them will die off. Now, I'm not cynical. I just have seen this for so many years. I've spoken at almost every major trade show, everywhere, so for years and years. And I work with a lot of you guys. And I'm not just saying that to be stuck up or anything. I literally spend a lot of time at these shows. And what happens is you get so excited, you get so pompous about your product that you forget to follow up with people after the show, and you lose a lot of opportunity because they forget too. And or they get tired, or they get sidetracked, or someone else reached out to them. So you want to do the follow-up as well to make sure that your product does something. Otherwise, a lot of times they'll forget about you, which is highly irritating, but write down the ones that could make you any money and follow up with them. The final thing I'll also mention is make sure they can buy units on the spot at the location, meaning you have some sort of form, some sort of something for them to be able to buy on the spot if they want to do it. Sometimes buyers just want to buy stuff on the spot. This is Karen Waksman, Retail MBA. I hope this helped you with trade shows. Really excited to support you if you want to learn how to communicate with buyers effectively in the booth or out in the world or beyond just at trade shows. Take a look at what we're up to, retailmba.com. Thanks so much.